My name is Winback, and on today's episode of our A through Z playthrough, we are going to be playing Brightwing in Heroes of the Storm, and it is going to be Fairy and Dragon and Healy, and we're wearing a crown, so I feel a little bit better. But it's a YouTube video, so feel free to like, comment, and subscribe your heart out, and if you like the channel, you want to support it, feel free to share with anybody on social media, your Reddits, your Facebooks, your Twitters, your whatevers, or don't. Up to you. Our team comps today on Garden of Terror are going to be Ragnaros, Abathur, Samuro, Zul, and Brightwing versus Zul'jin, Rhaegar, Butcher, Medivh, and Falstad. So, looking at the enemy team, I definitely feel like they have the better comp, and our comp is a little bit less so. But we've got some pretty strong heroes, and we should be able to hopefully compensate. So for anybody here that is just around for the build, you're going to take Hyper Shift at 1, you are going to pick up Unstable Anomaly at 4, 7 is going to be Peekaboo, 10 will be your Blink Heal, 13 we are going to take the Pixie Boost, 16 is going to be Phase Out, and then 20 will be Invisible Friends. Now, okay, I pay attention to the map. The reason we took Phase Out is because I thought I was going to get Butcher charged a lot more than I did, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But anyway, if you're not familiar with Brightwing, Brightwing is a very difficult healer to play, has a lot of ins and outs to making her abilities work the best that they possibly can, and it only gets more complicated the better that you get with the character. So, we'll start with your trait, because your trait ultimately is your... Whoop. Okay, no, don't run that way. Run. Okay. You want to run up. If you run upward, you don't run into their team, and they body block you and do all the damage. So that open path upward is the easier way to get away, and I can peel a bit better because you're making some more space. So, live and learn, that's okay. We're going to give Zul some health back as well. Yikes. So our trait is called Soothing Mist. It is an activatable and a passive. So the passive part is the main form of healing for Brightwing. We're going to passively heal all nearby allied heroes every 4 seconds. In a big AoE, you can see a circle around Brightwing when you're playing her. That's how far the AoE extends for the range. Your D, the actual button, is a circular cleanse that goes out to that same range, and it hits everybody in a very, very big area. It's got a 100-second cooldown because it is so wicked huge, which is really cool. And then your trait in and of itself is just an enormous AoE cleanse and an enormous small AoE heal, and you're basically... You're going to do your best to, like, passively heal your buddies while you're fighting over objectives, but I guess we need to talk about the other actual healing ability of Brightwing, which is her mount. Brightwing does not... We're not going to help you with that camp, my man. I mean, it's too late. Stop worrying about it. I got to go around the long way. My team is running forward. Can I get to them in time? I don't have my actual heal button, which is my Z, and that's the teleport. Okay, alright. Can we stop the enemy team from killing all of our people? Butcher is going in. We're going to cleanse the charge immediately so he does not get any stacks off of our Zul, who fucking walks right back forward and gives them to the Butcher anyway. So that's... I'm completely for cutting our losses here, but Rad goes into building mode and he is ready to do it. Phase Shift is your Z. After 2 seconds, we're going to teleport to an allied hero and heal them for 25% of their maximum health. Crazy, I know. It's one of the few percent healing abilities in the game. Alexstrasza, I believe, has the only other one. I could be wrong. Except Lily has one now at 16, but as far as baseline abilities go, I think it's just Alexstrasza W and Brightwing Z. Boom! 25%, he's back to full health, huge amounts of healing, and then we can talk about our other abilities. Now, assuming, okay, the enemy team just wants to give us the objective and die a couple times. I'm into it. I am into it. We're going to catch that Butcher in a root. He's going to go down as well. Rag's going to pick up the objective. Fantastic team play, buddies. Arcane Flare. Shoot a flare dealing 99 damage to enemies hit in the big circle. And then it also has a center circle, which is going to do an additional 138 damage, so a little over 200 damage to enemies in the center. If a hero is hit by the center, Soothing Mist's passive activates immediately. So our little poot heal in the AoE around us is going to activate instantly again and reset if we hit someone with the center of our Q. Really good to hit the center of your Q, just all the time, period. Even if you don't need to heal anybody, hitting the middle is what you want to aim for. Your W, which is widely considered Brightwing's best ability, is called Polymorph. Polymorph is going to turn a target into a sheep, a crab, a spider, a whatever for 1.5 seconds, and they're going to be slowed and silenced during that time. Can't use abilities, gonna walk real slow, and they're gonna be a cute little sheep. So, where's the downside? The other reason that this is gonna be so good in this match is because when Butcher goes in, if we can't cleanse his stun target, we just polymorph Butcher, and then our team can turn around and slap him a little bit. I mean, polymorph is insanely good against characters who want to dive in. So if you're playing against a Mal'Ganis, or a Genji, or a Zeratul, or anything that wants to dip in, do a bunch of damage, and dip out, you hit your W on them, and suddenly they're having a terrible time. And if your team is smart enough to collapse on that person, they're usually dead in that 1.5 seconds, or at least CC'd enough that they will die in a larger window after. So your E is Pixie Dust. This is the final ability of the basic set. And this is going to give the target increased movement speed, which is fantastic, but it's also going to give them spell armor. So you get 30 spell armor for 3 seconds. And that turns off all ability damage by 30% for that amount of time. Lots of 3s recently, I'm noticing. But anyway, the enemy team doesn't have a whole lot of ability power that we're super afraid of. Specifically, Medivh and Falstad are the only ones who can do those big ability damages, DPs, abilities. Anyway, so we're not super concerned about hitting those Pixie Dust very often. It's mainly going to be to block like Falstad Lightning Rod, but even then, it's kind of like, do I really need to do that? Okay, alright. Trying to juke and jive with our invisible... I was going to say our invisible friends, but that's at 20. We've got our blink heal at 10, which is giving us a stupid amount of mobility with 2 charges, and when we blink to people, they are going to be healed for 296. Okay, looks like we're going to take out the Medivh as well. Butcher is pretty low, but I don't think we're interested in taking the meat off of him. Can we take out the Rhaegar with the root? We're going to put the speed onto Zul so the Abathur can take him out with the range damage. Fantastic. Now, Blink Heal is going to be your, as most people consider these days, 100% pick. Especially if you're in a competitive setting with Brightwing. Blink Heal gives you the ability to dodge people diving you, get out of really, I don't heal you that much, my friend. I probably could have Z'd him, but at that point, I feel like that's a learning moment for that guy. So, right, but Blink Heal, it stops people from diving on you because you can blink to teammates. It is going to save people very, very often. You can also blink to minions to get away from stuff if you need to like get over a wall or go places. I was too late on the phase shift there. Had I been sooner and we had gotten onto that Medivh quicker and polymorphed him, he'd probably be dead right now. He's really low, but I don't think we're going to get that kill because of how far back he is, which is a little bit rough. I'm also not a Brightwing player, so anything that we're doing in this video is purely muscle memory after not having played the character since October. October? Pretty sure it's October. Yeah. Of last year. 2020. The year of the devil. Okay. Going it to save... Well, Ragnaros is perfectly saved, but now we're going to give him a bunch of health to be able to go back in if he needs to, even though things are looking a little bit spooky on the other side of the team fight because Zul's going to be trapped. Samuro can only do so much. I am going to eat some lightning rod damage myself. Okay. We can't really go in. Even though the butcher wasn't there, our team was taking a lot of free-ass damage for really no purpose. Ooh! Damn. Rag just barely missed it, and he caught the Tazdingo right before I could polymorph him, so he is going to live there, and I am going to die. Shit. The reason that I hit my cleanse is because occasionally, since the cleanse is an AoE and that big scope of things, you can hit it and cleanse yourself walking into it. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I could be wrong, I'm not a Brightwing expert, but I'm 90% positive you can do that. Oh well. Gonna give up the seed. Looks like we're gonna take out a Zul'jin, but there's nothing we can do to stop the enemy team from channeling. That's okay with me. And we can talk a little bit about our build. I guess also Emerald Wind stands to be mentioned because I think it's a fun ability, and I think it's really good for like boss control or you know, just keeping people away from Brightwing. But ultimately, it doesn't do any amount of healing for your team, and since you have relatively minor healing abilities with this character anyway, other than your phase shift, you do want to have blink heal. So, anything I've said previously about Emerald Wind, I take it back, because the more that I watch people play Brightwing, the more that I understand about her, and the more that I may have been a misrepresenting her abilities. But the build, we are going to, number one, take Hyper Shift every single time. There is no reason to take any of the others unless, of course, you're in one of those like super niche positions to take Greater Polymorph. Bribe is never going to be better than Hyper Shift, because Hyper Shift is reducing the cooldown on the biggest heal in your kit, and having that insanely large heal is the whole reason that Brightwing can be such a menace. Couple that he's getting rooted after his ley line. We're still gonna kill him. Oh my god, extreme prejudice from the Ragnaros, but we're going to lose the objective. No Medivh on the enemy team, so the only siege power that they have is really Falstad and Zul'jin. So as long as we're not killing ourselves immediately on all of these objectives, and the enemy team doesn't group up under a single one, which they are not, this should be a pretty easy defense. Just gonna go ahead and kill off that flower. You can kill him, buddy. Get it. Oh, I was going to save you. It's okay. He went back in afterwards, and that's when Abathur had a dip. A little bit mistimed, just a wee bit, but that's okay. As long as we put the fear in Zul'jin, that's all that we need to do. We're almost 16 as well, because we have the Abathur. Our team has a lot better global presence than their team, because all they have is Falstad, while we have the Abathur, the Samuro, and the Brightwing. So we can basically be omnipresent all the time, soaking waves, and ready to fight at a moment's notice. That is another reason that Hyper Shift is going to be insanely important, because Brightwing is a healer that will actually soak waves and eventually do more healing because she's soaking waves, because Hyper Shift is going to reduce the cooldown of your Z. And then Phase Shift being up more often, obviously, is a huge heal. Butcher down. Not sure why the enemy team thought that it was going to be a good idea to go in 15-16 under that camp. Maybe they know something that I don't. Are they going to kill the Rag? They are indeed. I was not able to hit another R on him soon enough to get him that last little bit of healing. Can we take out the Rhaegar as a trade? I don't believe it. The Gust is going to stop everything from happening. Okay, well, we traded evenly up a talent, so that's a little bit bad. We also lost our clone. It is a quick match game, so I can't really say that I'm expecting much less weird stuff. So, but again, Hyper Shift, if you're not aware, it is... Okay. I need to focus on my talents, because people dying is just a way of life at this point. So not only is it going to increase the amount of healing that Phase Shift does, so it goes from 25% up to, used to be 35, now it is 33%. So 33% of their max health back when we hit a Z on them, and we are going to reduce the cooldown of the ability, which is pretty hefty, at 50 seconds. This Ragnaros is just so on fire, man. Like, that one little hiccup at the beginning of the game, everybody has those, and now he's just like, I'm gonna fuck this enemy team. And I am here for it. Also with the Abathur hat, there's the phase shift in. We can polymorph the Zul'jin. Weren't able to hit it on time for the Dingo. He doesn't even have it, so it doesn't matter. He did. He just didn't press it. Maybe he just knew he was dead and wanted to save the cooldown. Got to cleanse. Okay, it's fine. He eventually realized he was cleansed and teleported forward, so kudos to Amaro. I just saw him standing there for a second like, buddy, go! Get in there! But basically, anytime you see a Butcher on the enemy team and you have Brightwing, you just hit your D button when he hits his R button. As long as you're not in it, everybody's going to be fine. And then, let's see. So the cooldown reduction on phase shift is the other thing, because that means Brightwing can soak. Brightwing's got some decent AoE as well, so she's going to get a lot of XP. She's going to be reducing the cooldown of her phase shift. She's going to be able to give people lots and lots and lots of health back from all the way across the map, literally. And it is 100% worth it for that talent every single time. Now, the 4 tier, I'm a little bit fuzzy on, because while I took Unstable Anomaly, ooh, my god, Falstad. There was a bird, and then there was just the roasted carcass of a bird, and, excuse me. He charged a clone. I went to save a clone, but it's only because he charged a clone, and I was confused as he was. Clone down, we don't need to keep sieging here. Time to leave, people, let's go. So, the 4 talents all feel really good. Dream Shot having a bigger range seems really good. Reducing the cooldown seems really, really good. Helps Brightwing soak from safer positions. The reason that I took Greater Polymorph or Unstable Anomaly, this game is because of the Butcher. So anytime Butcher runs in, I want him to take that 2% max health and then be slowed by 45%. So that's still very strong. Can we get over there to save the Zul? Enemy team is collapsing on him completely. We're at 20, and I'm going to skip ahead really far in the talents just to make this point incredibly clear to everyone playing. 20, Invisible Friends with Blink Heal makes the target invisible. Also makes Brightwing invisible. The reason I need to say this right now is because that Zul was 100% fine if he had simply walked away while invisible. He threw his invisibility away by auto-attacking and got himself killed. So basically, we blink to him, he goes invisible, Butcher can't hit him, and then they have to start aiming AoE at him. He's going to be speed boosted because of our talent on our Pixie Dust. So I have my Z as well, which I can dump on him at some point if he is in a good position, but he opted to just stand still, and that's why he died. So it's nothing I can really explain to him in the game.
Shouldn't you be gathering?
Could be a new player, but I mean, there you have it. Just if you're in danger, you still want to move. Don't just stand still. Okay. I'm clearing giants right now. Global presence, Brightwing. Oh god, he has all of his health. I need to go right now. He actually died before I could get there. That's the only phase shift I have missed all game. And he was more than 50% health when we started. I think Butcher may have the percentage charge. He does. Damn. Like fractions of a second. Fractions of a second. That's okay. Right now, Medivh and Butcher are very far away from this engage, so we're going to take out a Rhaegar as a trade. Healer for a Ragnaros. Acceptable. Yeah. Acceptable combat performance indeed, Abathur. Now, again, Invisible Friends. Let's see, what else does this do? Oh, good. So while you remain invisible, you also get healing. And the invisibility lasts forever. So if you're just blinking on people while they're unstealthed, you could essentially have an entire team of invisible people pop out with full health bars and kill everyone. So Invisible Friends is now what Shadowstalk used to be.
My little seed is on the verge of sprouting.
It's really cool. It's really
Prepare to
cool.
gather it.
Especially in like pro play, you'll see this happen a lot where they will just all get the invisibility and then decide on an engage at that time. But they can coordinate, they can communicate, obviously make it work a bit better, but that's really, really impressive strategy with that. But back to level 4, Magic Spit, I think is also a really good talent. I think all of these talents are really, really good. I think Dream Shot is probably the #1 talent because, again, it makes Brightwing safer when she's soaking. But I think they're all pickable. And then the Polymorph upgrade, specifically in this match, is going to be very, very, very strong. Ragnaros is on the wrong side of the team fight, but he wants to building so he can stop them from channeling. It looks like he's going to get very close. Can we do it? Oh, no. Okay, we're all going to get... we need to cleanse and get out. Ragnaros is going to die to the Zul'jin on the backside since he was split off. I have to pay attention to so much other shit. It's so hard. My brain. I can't do it. I don't like healing. I like being a tank. Peekaboo is our level 7 talent. The reason that we're picking this is because that shield, on top of the 33% additional health that we are giving to people, makes our phase shift an even stronger save button. So if anybody is ever in a 1 versus 1 or there's a team fight happening on a single person, we just and they're good. And that team fight is entirely turned on its head. And then Blink Heal we already talked about. Pixie Boost I don't think is super important. The only reason I took it is because I wanted the extra speed and the enemy team's not doing a whole bunch of ability damage, so why not? But it gives 40% bonus movement speed that decays a bit. And then Phase Out, the one talent in this entire game that is going to not see any use, and I'm going to be really upset about later, is basically an ice block for Brightwing that is much shorter than your normal ice block. So Phase Out goes to your 1 key, is a 0.75 second ice block.
I trust you know what to do,
And you'll see soon why I'm so upset about taking it. The other abilities at 16 are also incredibly good. Having the silence on our Q with the center of our Arcane Flare would have been way better for silencing Zul'jin when he's in that Tazdingo window. And then even Criterize, lowering the armor of the Polymorph target. I was just so scared. I cleansed the fuck out of that Butcher ult, and now I'm just even more worried. I'm trying to find a blink target. Everything's spooky, though. Our team is just in everywhere. We're going to take out the Falstad, luckily, though, because Zul was ready for that bird, and everyone else was way more interested in the Samuro. He hit the Dingo yet again, killing our Zul, unfortunately, and now I have to leave. Can Ragnaros give me an escape? Okay, there you go. That's how it works. Ragnaros was invisible. They couldn't do anything to him afterwards. That protected saving the Zul'jin. But Ragnaros, the true MVP of the game, picking up the kill in building mode. That guy is doing so fucking well. It's crazy. Oh no. That was me. That was me hitting my 16 talent. Getting robbed because I'm playing on Central from West. And regretting my life decisions. Just everything up until that point in this game has been completely thrown out the window because I look like an idiot using my phase shift. Or my phase out. Never pick it again. Just never ever going to pick it again. I probably will because I want to look cool when I push the buttons, but my god, did it just suck. What I wanted to happen was to phase out the Butcher stun, hop over the wall to the Ragnaros, and live. And that just didn't happen. So, sad day. Sad day. Anyway, turns out we're just getting buildings passively here because the enemy team is so interested in killing us that we're just winning the game with minions and camps and pushing and Abathur, and it is really nice because our global pressure is beating their lesser global pressure with Falstad, who is always near his team doing team fighty things instead of doing global bird things. Yeah, so 13 and 16 or whatever talents, 1, 4, and 7 are all really important talents. 1 and 7 are mandatory. 4 is going to be dealer's choice. And then 13 and 16, I think you take Pixie Power normally at 13. And then 16, you're probably going to end up taking Critterize or Hush. I mean, both of them very, very strong talents. We got the cleanse, but he's still standing still. And that guy is protected, and now Zul's dead, and that's a ley line, and I have to try to keep Samuro alive. There's so much going on, I can't do it. Okay, Ragnaros is building mode. He's just saving the day. Meanwhile, there's this going on here, and the enemy team has absolutely no idea. So as long as we stop them all from backing, we're going to win the game. GG. This is quality, quick match play. You're welcome. It's really cool that that worked that way, though, because it just means that the Samuro, Abathur, Brightwing, Zul, like our whole team comp was just 100% macro, and funnily enough, Ragnaros took Smash because I guess he felt like he didn't need Lava Wave, which is completely on him, making really solid choices for our team fight as well. How many? Holy crap. Like, the amount of damage he did. The amount of damage they did is just because they want to team fight all the time, right? But this is him also doing all of his, dealing with our macro shit while he's team fighting. Like, this dude was 100%, or sorry, Ragnaros, since you can't see my cursor, Ragnaros was the actual MVP of that whole game. Samuro and Abathur were doing fantastic, but they were just doing Samuro and Abathur things, and Rag turned so many of those team fights. But it's a Brightwing video, so I guess we need to talk about Brightwing talents. Again, Hyper Shift, mandatory. Unstable Anomaly, just because of the Butcher. Peekaboo, mandatory. Blink Heal, mandatory. Pixie Boost, not sure. Phase Out, again, not sure. Probably not. 13 and 16, not great picks this game, but I didn't have other options, so we just went with what was possible. And then Invisible Friends at 20, mandatory, because you've taken Blink Heal and you need people to be invisible. Stealth your whole team, make everybody happy. 0 stacks on that Medivh. That poor man did not make it, but Butcher did. Way to go, buddy. Little victories, little victories. Anyway, that's it for me and this week for the A through Z. I will be back next week to kick things off with, I was really looking forward to it. Who is after Brightwing? I know it's another B character. Butcher, that's right, Butcher. Butcher is the BU after the BR, so that'll be fun. We'll ruin some other people's games. Maybe our own team, who knows. Butcher is a coin flip every single time. But thanks for hanging out. I will see you guys next week. GG's. Peace out.